Here are 6 signs your email agency is leeching off your front end marketing efforts. This is a 6-part series specifically designed for fashion and jewelry brand founders and owners. So, as an overview, part of your front end should be your Instagram and Facebook ads, of course, part of Meta. You might also be doing some Google ads, and the goal here is new customer acquisition. The back end is where the retargeting should take place. It's where you would use something like Klaviyo to retain as many customers as possible through email and SMS. And what I just described up here, leeching off your front end marketing efforts, which means the revenue that you are generating from your front end is being credited to your back end. So there is an over attribution scenario taking place here. And this is probably one of the worst scenarios for a fashion or jewelry brand to be in. You want to protect your profit margins while outsourcing the parts of your business that will put you on the same playing field as other leading brands. So you decided to outsource your email marketing to an email agency, which, by the way, I think all big brands can agree that it's a crucial marketing channel. They're all doubling down on it right now. And a few months have gone by. You are seeing revenue being attributed to emails on your Klaviyo dashboard. But when you did the math, there was no real growth that happened after having worked with that email agency for a month. The truth is, in the ecom space, there are more people that promise the world but deliver nothing than those who deliver exceptional, above average industry results. So, here are the 6 things you need to look out for when you partner with an email agency to avoid getting screwed over or ruining your brand's reputation with your email list. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Sharda, the founder of Persona eMarketing. And in the last 4 years, my team and I have been delivering above average industry results for multiple 7 and 8-figure fashion and jewelry brands with emails. So let's talk about the 6 signs now that I see in this industry all the time. The first sign your email agency is leeching off your front end marketing is you're seeing no year on year growth. So if you go to your Klaviyo dashboard, assuming you're using Klaviyo, you can see your daily, weekly, or monthly total revenue and email revenue performance. Now you can either compare those metrics to your previous 30-day period or the same month from last year. Ideally, your total revenue this year compared to the previous year would be higher after having hired an email agency. For example, if you're comparing it to the previous year and it's showing you 32% increase this year compared to the previous year, then that's the reality. However, if your email agency is only comparing your total revenue to the previous period, it won't show the full picture, because when you compare that to the previous year, there may have been zero growth, because let's just say they might offer some type of discount this month that wasn't being offered that same month last year. So you've essentially experienced zero growth in total revenue despite what the email growth is looking like. You still want to be very cautious with this though, because let's just say you launched a collection last year that did super well. It may even have ended up being one of your best sellers to this day. Then this year you're competing against that. And you may see a decline in your total revenue or email revenue despite having onboarded the new email agency, because emails that relate to product or collection launches can drive a lot of revenue. So in that situation, a year-on-year analysis may not be entirely fair. But overall, do make sure that your email agency is aggressively tracking year-on-year growth in a super reasonable way. The second sign your email agency is leeching off your front end marketing is that your flow to campaign ratio is off. If your email agency is running both your flows, so the automations, and your campaigns, then ideally you would want an almost 50-50 split between the revenue that came from the flows and the revenue that comes from the campaign. And this is just a screenshot from one of our clients' dashboards. This is showing 46, almost 47% coming from campaigns, the email revenue, and 53% of the email revenue coming from the flows. And this is a pretty healthy split between campaign to flow ratio. If the automations are doing most of the heavy lifting, however, with only 0 to 30% come from campaigns, then you're effectively dealing with an email agency who's not interested in optimizing your email marketing, but rather making passive income off of the traffic you are already driving to your website. And this is even worse when most of that revenue is coming from a basic welcome series that goes only as far as offering a 10% off coupon, or from flows that easily get triggered when a customer is checking out, which would attribute revenue you were going to make anyways to the emails. Okay, so the third sign that your email agency is leeching off your front end marketing is you always see them send out cookie cutter emails. These are emails that always look the same. It's usually a cover image followed by a boring grid of product images. And you can pretty much hire a VA from the Philippines to do this for you for only $4 an hour. And here you are paying out thousands in retainer fees to an email agency who outright refuses to diversify your emails, and like I said in the beginning of the video, refuses to essentially put in the effort to put you on the same playing field as these multi-step figure brands, these 8 9 figure brands. And eventually what will happen is that your email list will get tired of seeing those templates, then your engagement will go down and your email list will eventually become completely useless. The fourth sign your email agency is leeching off your front end marketing is that their copy sounds way too much like AI. It doesn't sound genuine or human written. And quite honestly, like these days, most people can spot ChatGPT text from a mile away. Everyone is using it. Students in school are using it. They may be your target audience depending on your brand. Everyone at work is using it. So here's a quick example. This was a dress that I gave ChatGPT as input and asked it to output a piece of copy essentially for the dress promoting it that could be used in email. And this was the output. And some of the words that stand out to me that I see used in fashion all the time are things like effortless, elegance, timeless, flattering, um, stuff like again, timeless from here again, modern elegance. And these types of words, they're essentially ChatGPT's go-to vocabulary. It will assign these words to almost every product you give it. And when you use a word too much, it loses its power. To me, these words have essentially lost their power at this point, and using them is pointless. They're not going to register with your audience, right? So instead, what we found is that the emails that convert the best are the ones that feel the most personal. A lot of these words, they're not everyday words that ChatGPT is using. So you need to make sure that your email agency is holding itself to the highest standard possible when it comes to copy as well, and not just the design. The fifth sign your email agency is leeching off your front end marketing is that they are heavily relying on discounts to drive email sales. Now, getting sales from an email that offers a discount or announces a new product or collection drop, it's child's play. And the only reason why an email agency would force you to implement discounts is because they don't know how to make their emails convert in other profitable ways, like through better content or creatives. So this is what they instead should be doing. This is an example of a value-driven email that we sent out for a brand, and it actually ended up being one of our highest performing emails. What we did was understand that in fashion, sometimes customers have a hard time completing their purchase because there's too many choices. For example, this one dress came in over 12 colors. What we then did for this email was assign a personality trait to each color. There was no cover. The email went straight into the assignment of the colors with this small header. It said your Audra addressed as a person. An example here, French Navy got the composed mystery, lavender was the dreamer, magenta was the life of the party, sage was the grounded soul, and so on and so forth. And it was a very fun way of making one dress style appeal to customers who have different personalities. The email list was also mostly a young female demographic, and they actually love this type of stuff. So the lesson here really is don't let any agency turn your fashion or jewelry brand into a discounted brand, especially an email agency. Don't let them do that, because there are more creative, out of the box type of ways for your emails to convert better without the need for discounts. The sixth and last sign your email agency is leashing off your front end marketing is when you're the one that's always having to provide the creatives and all they do is assemble the email. So your email agency instead needs to be sending out exclusive content that can't be found on your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, or website, because that's essentially what they sign up for, right? To be part of this insider community that gets exclusive content. But if your agency isn't giving them that, then your subscribers will find it pointless in opening your emails and engaging with them in the first place. So instead, your email agency should prioritize building a relationship with your email list, which is done through personalization, strong creatives in the email, and relatable content. For example, recently I saw so many fashion and jewelry brands in my inbox talking about Wimbledon, which is the oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament. For example, Beautiful Earth here, a jewelry brand, sent an email out on it, and so did Love Shack Fancy. And it was no surprise to me that they also happen to be multi seven, eight, and nine figure brands, right? So these big brands clearly make an effort to create and send out email content that aligns with what they know their audience is most likely interested in. And so should your email agency. Your email agency needs to be constantly innovating on content ideas, designs, and copy. And if they're not doing that, then leave.